video?
Yeah, this is live.
Here too?
Mm-hmm. I'll check if you.
All right, we're
Your
live
head's
on,
off, your head's. There you go.
Live on YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna give it a minute, let some people show up. Thank you for the thumbs up. So you guys just wanna log on, click the link, and start watching the live. Make sure if you're going to share this, don't do a watch party. Because then we can't see the comments, unless you want to do a watch party and you don't want people to see our comments, and that's fine, you should do that, but if not, just share it to your wall. And we're gonna start in just a couple minutes, when we get some viewers, which hopefully happens.
Sooner than later.
I mean, I'll just talk to the phone for no reason. Is anything happening back there?
Nothing.
We've got 8 viewers on this side and 2
Yay.
on this side.
Really? I didn't expect that.
We're going up, slowly but surely.
All right, if you can see a beautiful red beard, let us know.
I'll kick it.
I'll be represented by the fire emoji. What emoji best represents you? Is there like an
Maybe,
Italian emoji?
Maybe a real short emoji.
Like a horse? Like a stud?
Really?
I don't know. Italian stallion? So yeah, I like that one. Dave's the horse. If you guys want to represent Dave, it's going to be a horse. If you could find a pony, that would be even better.
A Shetland pony,
Miniature pony.
miniature horse.
And the fire emoji represents.
What do we got, Meg? We got
J
more
Money.
people joining?
Yeah, 24 on this side and
24.
You guys better wake
3
up.
on this side.
24 is not acceptable.
26, 27. We're going up.
Cool.
Yeah, we got some lizards. We're gonna get the lizards out. We're gonna be playing with the lizards. We're gonna feed one of the monitors, so that's cool.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
all about the lizards today, so how about we give it 2 minutes and then we start?
Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes. I mean, where are they gonna go? You guys are quarantined.
Yeah, you got nothing to do.
We're quarantined, kind of.
Hey, by the way, we should mention that working behind the camera, last week it was Brendan, this week it's Meg. Meg is an employee of the Traveling World of Reptiles. She's going to be getting some close-up shots, as well as fired out the questions for us. So make sure you guys ask lots of questions. We're going to answer as many as we can and talk about the lizards.
Okay. No more renegade.
I wasn't running.
Not allowed. Yeah, we're gonna keep waiting. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna go look behind the camera.
Don't leave me! Yeah, everything looking good?
Oh, I
Hey,
was like, whose face is that?
Jeremy, should we turn on that other light? Wait, another light. Yes, no?
I don't know.
Where's the other one?
It's up there.
Did I look good or not? And if I didn't, we'll turn it on.
I mean,
What
his
do
phone's
we
a little
got?
dark, but his brightness is down.
Let's wave to some people.
I'm gonna hook up another light.
You can wave to them.
Okay. Landon says hi.
Who? Landon?
Sarah. Terry. I just saw your names. I think I'm
Alright, Meg, tell me if this is,
We're still setting up.
how's that?
It's bright.
Lori Hart O'Malley says hi, Jeremy, with a smile face.
Hey, Lori Hart O'Malley. Lori Hart O'Malley? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jenny just joined.
Lizards are coming.
Shall we?
Eventually. Pancake is here. Anybody's wondering.
I think I'm gonna do this first. Why don't you turn
I'm
your,
just trying to figure out where Pancake
turn your
is.
black boxes so they're gonna come up first on top.
Are they?
Yep.
Okay.
So, I'm getting ready. Alright, Meg,
Yep.
do I need to move to my left? Am I good?
On this one, remember, we're gonna look at this one.
Move to your left a little bit.
Yeah, just a little
A
bit.
little bit. That's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a little bit. I'm gonna look again.
Okay, come look.
Where we at? 11:04. We'll take the elevator.
That was very.
I have no idea what I'm look like. So.
Good? Good?
Woohoo! Live on time. Callie, Young, what is going on?
Yeah, hey Loki.
New to the
Hero.
show, and you guys, thank you for the live show. You're welcome, John Roth. Alex and Ollie say, "What's
Alex
up?"
and Ollie.
Alex and
Hi.
Ollie.
Ollie. I know Ollie.
Tell Brighton that Coach and Julian say hi from Tinley Park Soccer.
All right. All right, let's get this party started.
All right, hang on. I just want everybody keep watching Dave sit there awkwardly by himself.
I've done this often enough. Come on. All the shows we do. You kidding me?
Dawn is so excited. She clearly can't hide it.
Did you say Dawn or Don?
I,
You said Don.
did he say that differently? Yeah, Dawn. Dawn.
Now you're saying,
Dawn. That's just how I speak.
Come on.
Can I say hi? What's up, Ramages?
You're being streamed to the TV in someone's house while
Oh,
they're on
really?
lunch break
TV?
from
Oh,
e-learning.
In HD. You guys got like a
Big screen.
Yeah, like an 80-inch. My face just looks incredible. We're gonna give it. Let's give it a few more minutes. I know you want to start. I can see on your
Sorry,
face.
guys.
But I just wanna. Yeah, we're gonna wait a couple more minutes. Is that okay? If anybody's angry about us waiting, just put some angry emojis
Blame him.
because it's interaction. That's fine.
I'm sure he has a red beard.
Remember,
I'm gonna start.
no watch parties. We can't see the comments. So if you started a watch party, you're gonna go back right now. You're gonna stop that watch party. You're just gonna share it to the wall because that's the proper way to do this.
And there you go.
Can you see that little guy in the camera?
No.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, you just see
You
your.
should be on my side because you know you bring him out. You're
I'll hand them to you.
Okay, so cool. All right. Are we?
I'm gonna share this onto my Facebook.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'll put it away.
Share.
So if you didn't catch it, we are going to be feeding one of the monitor lizards. We're going to start with the monitors because we're going to start big. It's America, going big or going home, all right? And then we're going to have some iguanas. That's confirmed, correct? Yeah.
Giving away all the lizards?
What does it matter?
Someone said they just canceled their watch party.
Good.
Lori
Yeah.
Hart O'Malley said
That's
that.
right. We can't see others' comments.
Oh, we're
on
getting
watch
angry
party.
emojis.
Angry emojis.
Hearts and anger is what we're getting
I
right
like
now.
that. Love and hate, the perfect combination.
Kind of like reptiles, there's a love-hate
Yeah.
relationship with them. So.
Someone said, "Show us a lizard." LOL says Amy
Show
Warner.
us your patience. LOL. The lizards are coming. We're almost there. We're just letting people show up. We're letting people 11:07, which is earlier than we started last time, which was 11:30 because we had
Technical difficulties.
You guys
But
couldn't figure out how to
by
work.
technical difficulties.
live and learn. We don't even know
We did it
those
somewhere else.
technical difficulties.
All right, no Siri. I'm not talking to you at all. All right, we want to see some lizards. First of all, before we see lizards, I want to thank you guys for joining once again. I want to say a huge thank you to anybody who donated or tipped last live stream. That's amazing. We really appreciate that. I mean, obviously, we're not working right now. This is what we do full time, and so because everyone but besides us is sick, we can't come to your house. So shame on you. Yeah, just kidding. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, just to recap what we are doing today, it's all about lizards. Last week it was about tortoises. Today we're going to bring out lizards big and small from continents all over the world. We're going to go into detail not only about how they act in the wild and behave, but also how, if you have one in captivity, to take care of it, to feed it, to house it, all that other good stuff. So Meg is also going to be getting the camera in close to get some close-up shots for you when they're eating. Right, Meg? This is
Yep.
our first time. So
Might get a little jarring
Love this.
when the camera's really close, but that's okay. We've been on a roller coaster before, hopefully.
all right, I say we bring them out.
Oh, make sure to get your emojis ready. Find the lizard emoji. We're gonna be blowing this thing up. I want so many emojis during this that your comments are blocked for spam. All right, we will unhide them later. Before we get started, I want to see how everybody is doing right now. So if you want to use one emoji to sum up your life in quarantine, go ahead and do that. Figure that out. Now I'm going to count to 12. No, 13. 13 is a better number than 12. And then we're going to get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'd already be done. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Open yours. Open
All right, here we go, guys. Now, we're bringing out two of the largest lizards, among the largest lizards on the planet. They are varanids, which means they are cousins of the Komodo dragon. I'll do this for you, thank you. All right, the first lizard that I obviously just brought out is called a black-throated monitor or black-throat monitor. They are native to Tanzania, Africa. In fact, that's the only place on the planet that you will find this lizard. Come on, puppy. Let me fix this for you.
Tail.
There you go. Turn this way so he's facing. Can you see this okay in there?
Yep.
You're gonna get the tail.
Okay.
Let's go. Both lizards will. They're not necessarily friends, so this could be fun.
Nah, we're fine. Look at him.
So this is the Asian water monitor right here. This is one of the biggest lizards in the world. They're they're the second heaviest, so they do rival the Komodo dragon. Not in weight necessarily. Komodo dragon can come about 200 to 300 pound lizard. The Asian water monitor doesn't get that heavy, but they are in the top three: Komodo, Asian water monitor, and your croc monitor lizard.
Yeah, now, other than size, these things are not very similar. This one, very arid, dry, desert-like areas. In fact, the biggest populations live to the south of the Sahara. This guy's more of a forest dweller. He needs more humidity. Yeah, this guy's a little more frisky as well. Also, look at the color. Have you ever been to the beach or played in a sandbox? This guy's more colored like sand. This guy has that dazzled effect that we always talk about, the yellow and black, which looks like the sunlight filtering through the leaves, hitting the ground, breaking up the outline of the body, making these guys invisible in their respective environments. Now they are carnivores. They do not eat veggies. You should probably just hold these.
I think so. Yeah. He doesn't like the box at all.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, so what was I saying? Where was I?
Carnivores. They
Carnivores.
eat meat, not veggies. They only eat the veggie eaters, so they're indirect vegetarians.
I say we bring them a little bit closer. We're a little far away. Let's bring them close. Come on. Here.
How do they look there? What's too close?
Is this all right?
That's
Right here?
good. Yeah.
Should
All
we
right,
get
look at
closer
that.
with Big Red?
Here we go. All right, now this monitor lizard has more beaded scales. These scales are thick and they protect the lizard from attacks from other animals. It also helps retain water. Monitor lizards, in fact, reptiles in general.
That's
Sorry
right,
about that.
no, it's fine.
You might want to turn
Reptiles in
him this
general
way. There you go.
Use their scales to hold in water. All right, I gotta put this guy down and pick him up as he scratches me.
So you guys could see,
I knew
Dave
this
was
was
saying,
challenging.
it's all right, yeah, they're big, active lizards. That's how monitors are. That's how they should be. So Dave's has the big scalation on there. He lives underground. He's a burrowing lizard. Now this one, the Asian water monitor, highly aquatic. That's why they put the name water monitor in there. The scales are
Yeah.
tiny. They're very streamlined, moving through that water. Now look at the tail. If you guys have ever seen alligators or crocodiles, they have the laterally compressed, flattened tail. Same thing here. These guys swim just like an alligator or crocodilian, put their legs back, right through the water. Incredible animals.
All right, now this is incredible for an animal in general. Now, usually animals are either arboreal, they're subterranean, or they're terrestrial, meaning they either live underground, on the ground, or in the trees. This lizard does all of that. Like, lives in the basement, lives on the main floor, lives upstairs. Now, ornithologists, which is just kind of more of a fancy word for birders, they have witnessed these lizards in trees ambushing birds. Now, what's cool is they will wait in front of a bird nest and not eat the chicks or the eggs, waiting for the parents to return so they can eat the larger birds first. Now, think about that. That means these things are very intelligent. So they will wait after they eat those birds, then they'll prey on the chicks and the eggs, which is pretty unbelievable that they do that.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of studies in the labs with their intelligence really quick. This guy is target trained. You see this a lot in zoos with the Komodo dragon. So I show him a target, he comes, he gets fed, so he knows that whether he's getting fed or not. Also in the labs, they have shown these guys can count up to 11, which is incredible. Most lizards can only go to 10. These guys go to 11. All right, what's the question?
Ashley Ramage is asking, do they use their tail for defense?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
We know all too well about their tails. Very muscular, very powerful. These lizards, that one will get over 8 feet. This one, they'll average 5 to 6, but in the wild they've been known to get 7 feet, 60 pounds. You get whipped by a big lizard like that, it's almost worse than getting bit. And I'll tell you what, if they can be trained obviously to be friendly, but the key is handle them from the time they're small. The teeth, the claws, and the tail are no joke.
Hey, we want to get a close-up of this guy's tail. This one, it's not that impressive for whipping. I've been whipped by several hundred species. Kind of like my mom growing up. I got in trouble. I got a variety of things I got spanked with. But this one's tail, I mean, it feels like a piece of rebar smacking you. That is how
Grab that
intense
tail
it
for a
is.
second.
I've been whipped in the eye by one of these years ago.
I remember
I
that.
couldn't see for an entire
Can
day.
you guys get that? Look at that.
I mean, look, there's an incredible ridge running down there. Now, they do have scales, all of them, I mean, claws, sorry about that, so they dig. Not only will they eat animals whole, but they will devour and rip apart larger prey, all right? So this guy will pin it down with his claws, tear it with his serrated-like teeth. Now, they don't all have the serrated teeth. This guy's built more for grabbing, crushing, but the water monitor there has teeth for cutting, just like the Komodo dragon. There's a question, go ahead.
So going off of their teeth, they are asking what are some predators, also what do they eat, and are they venomous?
They are not venomous.
Well, to the extent that,
Well, the Komodo monitor now has been known through recent studies that it may have mild toxins, but it's basically the bacteria in the mouth of the Komodo dragon that cause an infection or gangrene, and that infection travels through the body, it kills the animal, then the animal, or I should say the monitor will come back later and then feed on the...
do you mind if I interject
You
here?
can do that.
All right, so yeah, just more recently, they have been theorizing that all the monitors potentially could be venomous. They do have the bacteria for sure. If you got bit by one of these and did not get an antibiotic, that could kill you. But the Komodo dragon, they have shown to have actual venom in the lower jaw there. So that's the one that could really bite you and damage you. But they're still working on whether all monitor lizards are venomous now or not. I've been bitten by them though, and typically it's not really going to affect humans. It's not like a real strong venom for the other monitors. And what do they eat?
Feed this guy.
All right, so yeah, they're carnivores. They only eat meat. The water monitor eats a lot of fish, clams, snails. They will eat baby crocodiles. Both of these guys. This one will go after the Nile crocodile in Africa, and then you got the Asian species of crocodile. This one will eat the eggs. So a lot of eggs.
Put that guy up for just a second while we...
Are you gonna feed this one?
I am
Okay.
gonna feed him.
I'm just gonna go stand back here while Dave feeds this one. We're getting food out, and we do have carnivorous predators.
While we're getting ready to eat, Amelia, who is 7, is asking what their texture is of their
What is
skin.
the texture.
Well, I would say bead. This one's beaded,
Yes.
very dry. That one's...
Beads. What would I? Man, that's like a almost like a sandpaper on this one, but not as sharp.
All right, I
Definitely
have a
beads
nice
here.
big piece of chicken here. Hopefully this guy will
You don't get any chicken, so I'm gonna move you.
You should eat. We'll see. It might take a second, but...
Does everybody see the tongue flicking out? He's smelling.
all right,
Oh,
here
there
we
he
go.
goes. Now he got it.
Yeah. Now they don't chew their food. He
He's
will
just gonna
swallow it whole. He used that
ride
gravity
on.
to pull that back into his mouth, much like a crocodilian. Now in the wild, they do not chew their food. If they grab something that's too big to swallow, they will tear it apart.
He wants more.
He
Look at
wants
that.
more. He's getting more.
They're
Check this out.
very dog-like. I mean, they're very personable animals, and yeah, I mean, they'll let you know, hey,
Hey, not my
I want
hand.
more food.
Not my
Check it out.
hand.
He's picking out
There we go. Look at
chemicals in the air.
that. Yeah. There you
Just
go.
like the snakes you guys watch in our videos, so they use that forked tongue, collect chemicals, particles in the air, they bring it back in, the 2 holes in the roof of the mouth of Jacobson's organ, and he knows where that food is. I mean, he
I am
can't
on my
see.
4th piece of chicken. So for their size, I mean, this would be like a 2-year-old child eating like 6 Big Macs. So yeah, I mean, I'm
Which
giving
we don't
him,
recommend.
yeah, I'm literally
Technically,
giving
maybe
him,
not even 1 Big Mac. For
I'm
you.
literally giving him
for
over
your
a
child.
pound of chicken right now. Okay, and he weighs maybe 15 to 20 pounds.
Whoa,
Look at
there
that,
he
he's
is.
just
Now
going
he's
to
amped
town.
up. So can you guys see how excited he got for that food?
One more,
We do
one
not
more
want to have
piece.
these 2 eating together.
One more.
It could cause them to fight, which they would do in the wild.
So
He
what are
just
their
ate my
names?
dinner tonight, by the way.
This is Zany,
Yeah.
because he's from Tanzania, Africa.
Whoa,
and this is
whoa, there you go.
Triton. Triton is the Asian water monitor, and he's also Ariel's dad. So don't forget that. So
Now
don't
notice
see.
the tongs. I don't want my fingers anywhere near this lizard's teeth, okay? Now he would not intentionally bite me, but he gets excited when I hang that food. You obviously see him kind of jumping up for it, so once I'm out of food, we should be good. He knows my hand is not
written
food. Look at
about
that.
tongs.
Look at that.
Let me see those tongues.
Look at
Tongue, 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 tongue. I think so.
All
It was like a song back in the day. No, not appropriate. Okay.
Never heard it.
They do have ears. So the lizards
Zoom
have
in
ears,
this.
especially monitors have large
That's
openings on the side.
Right
No
here, right
external
here.
ears, just the inner ear membrane,
right there, right there.
the middle ear there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so they got a very, very powerful sense of smell. Now, this doesn't hurt the lizard. I'm going to show you this tongue.
How
Look at
far
that.
can it go?
Look at that. He can stick that tongue out literally 6-8 inches. And you notice it's forked. That forked tongue brings in molecules from the air. It tells the lizard what it's smelling, not tasting. They can detect nests of eggs several inches under the soil. It's pretty amazing. We can't even fathom their sense of smell. We have one of the weakest senses of smell in nature. These things, unbelievable. They can smell both predator and prey from great distances.
Incredibly fast animals. So their center of gravity is very low. You can see how his legs splay out. These guys can move really quick. They can turn very fast. So even though mammals can be incredibly fast, they can't always maneuver as quickly as the monitor lizards. So they're excellent predators
Is that better,
at
Meg?
catching
Yeah.
animals. Hey Meg, can you get a shot of the blackthroat's nose? If you guys can see his nostrils, they kind of flare back. Being a lizard that would go on the ground in burrows, he has flaps that will close too and keep out sand and water. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and they can actually turn their head so that their ear openings actually are sealed shut as well. So it's just extra means to protect their, obviously their ears, and also obviously close their eyes if something scratches
What's the
them.
question?
Katie, who is 7, wants to know how long they are. What's their length?
7-year-olds are blowing it up today.
They are.
Let's see, how long?
Mine is 5 feet
is
right
it?
now.
So we got Zany the blackthroat is 5 feet. If you could leave it up there real quick, I want to show something. This guy is almost close. I would say
I'd say yours is
4.5, almost 5 feet. And the main difference is the weight of these two. This one's going to catch up, obviously. This is much younger than that. I would like to let mine walk. Yeah, let's move the box, Meg. If you want to get, I know, I'm sorry. You just put it back on the tripod. Let's get low. Let me see you get low. Come on. All right, go explore a little bit. Check him out. Watch how he walks from the side, like this, which he's not doing. Go. There he goes. Look at that. Using that tongue, checking it out, smelling all the dirty feet. He's like, whoa, this place is amazing. If you can see on top of his head is the parietal eye. It's like a yellow dot right there. So you can see stuff move over like a predator.
Now this is pretty cool. Why are they called monitor lizards? Certain species will actually stand up on 2 legs and monitor their surroundings. Just look around, see if there's predators, see if there's prey. This species is not known to do that as
No,
much
Argus
as they-
monitors are. Now, I don't mean to correct you, but I actually found out the reason they're called monitor lizards is because back in the day when schools were first started, they would put these lizards in the hallway, and if kids were horse playing, running around, they get bit by a monitor lizard, and they would be monitored.
Thanks for
That's
correcting
not true.
me.
I just made that up.
All right, let's get them back up on the box.
Someone asked what their predators were, and I feel
Well,
like
when they're
disregarded
younger,
that
yeah,
question.
when they're younger, birds of prey, main predators, but
Other monitor lizards, for sure.
and
Their dads will eat them. They don't get any parental care. Mommy lays the eggs. She leaves. So they'll get consumed by bigger monitor lizards, like Dave said, birds of prey, lizards, large mammals.
look at the claws. These things are known to dig up crocodile nests, and on occasion, mommy crocodile will catch them doing that and obviously kill them or even eat them. So when they're younger, that's mostly or mainly when they have to worry about predation. Once they get a certain size, with those claws, those teeth, and that tail, there's not many animals that are going to mess with the monitor lizard. All right, what do you want to do?
So that was like any other questions?
A couple more coming in from Ashton, who is 9, is saying that do they have a third eye like a bearded dragon does?
They do. If you just missed us saying that, they do have a third eye, the parietal eye, on top there.
They don't see it.
Yeah, that way when they're basking,
Grab my
they
lid.
can't see shadows. Move over top, so just like a bearded dragon.
Yep.
That is correct.
Quinn, who is 8, says how big will he get? Is he full grown?
Which one?
Are you
Probably
talking about
either.
This one fully grown. The black throats,
Might get another half a foot.
yeah, the Asian water monitor probably, she has the potential to double that size roughly. That's with weight and length.
Already got scratched.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
And then Ashlyn, who is 7, says, can they live in water?
So the Asian water monitor is always found near water, and actually, in parts of Asia like Thailand, they are known to hang out in areas where people are, and people don't disturb them. They kind of, they have a great respect for the monitor lizards, and so, I mean, people are interacting. There's just giant monitors sitting always by canals and rivers, so you would never find the water monitor away from water. They're almost like an alligator. They're highly aquatic lizards.
Check it out. That is a baby water monitor, the same species that Jeremy just showed you. Look at how cute, how small he is.
So adorable.
Yep. Now he's not a hatchling, several months old, so it's already done quite a bit of growing. Now if you're wondering how a lizard like this can fit in a small egg, much smaller than the chicken's egg, it's that these animals in the egg are all coiled up like this. So again, it has done some growing, still a baby, very cute. If you go out and get one of these as a pet, like I said, handle them as much as possible, or you are going to have Godzilla for a roommate.
But yeah, and so unless technically these larger monitors are for advanced keepers, people with a lot of experience, because they grow super fast, and that's the danger of that cuteness. Is it's gonna suck you in. You're gonna be like, I want you now, and then later on you're like, what did I do? I have
So
a
how
child.
long do these monitors live, the 2 kinds that we just saw?
Yeah, the black throat, 12 years is a good average in captivity. I've had one for that long, and I don't know, how old is your water monitor? I have no idea.
The water monitor is 4 years old. So yeah, we'll say 12 to 25 years is a good range, just depending on the species that you get there.
All right,
All right,
let's bring out
freeze!
something else.
Time out. We're doing this, right?
Let's do it.
Listen, pancake is coming out. All right? So get your pancake emojis going. If you didn't know, there is a pancake emoji. There totally is. And let's just throw some pancake stacks on there now. I did promise someone, and I forgot your name. I apologize. But I'm going to do pancake selfies in a second, okay?
Oh, that's
Pancake
right.
is going to come to the camera, and if you guys can figure out how to take a selfie of the phone with another phone, it's getting a little tricky here. You should try and work that out. So
We're getting yay
coming out.
pancakes.
So Pancake is a Uromastyx. I do have 2 Uromastyx today. Yeah, you thought
I get
just
to hold
one.
one, yay.
You get one, Dave gets
Yay.
one. Yeah, and they're gonna look completely different, so this is super cool. So we're sticking with the African species, so let's get Pancake out.
The pancake emojis are coming in
Awesome.
strong.
emojis!
A little bit about Uromastyx lizards. They're from North Africa as well as the Middle East. They love hot weather. They can bask 110 degree days. They don't care. They're not very large, although there is a species that can grow to 3 feet. One that Jeremy's going to bring out, very small. Did you lose your?
I did not know. I'm getting distracted, which is like the story of my life.
Now Uromastyx, that Latin name, Euro means tail and mastic means whip.
Whip or scourge, yeah.
Yeah. So, if
whip
you-
tail, and it's actually Greek. It's
Greek is
older.
Uromastyx, I believe, is Latin. So
Alright.
close. They're very similar. I
Alright.
had a Greek buddy. He would always tell me the names because he knew Greek, so he could figure out the Latin
Because he
names.
was Greek, right?
He was.
It still is
Well,
Greek. I don't think he
no,
stopped being
he's
Greek.
not
I'm not
Greek
sure.
anymore because he moved to Greece. I haven't seen him in 30 years. So.
Alright, so he's more Greek
Oh,
now.
I get the call.
Alright.
Nice.
Pancake has arrived. What's up, everybody? It's cute.
I gotta bring this up. I gotta bring him closer.
She's saying hello
Bring him up
to
there.
the camera.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Alright,
Look at those colors.
so we have the Mali
Let me
Uromastyx,
see.
West Africa.
I'm gonna
And
try
then
to
we
get
have
these.
the
Where is it?
Saharan Uromastyx, also
Oh.
known as the red Niger. Unfortunately, he's in shed, so if you can just see the head and maybe the back, that beautiful orange coloration there, and a lot of times they get bright red, hence bright red, since the red Niger. Now Pancake is a female. She's a girl, okay? And they are dimorphic lizards, and what that means is visually you can tell males from the females. Usually The mollies can be a little trickier, but typically the males have a bright yellow back. So the boys are prettier. That's why I have the red beard, ladies. Sorry to let you know. Just like the peacock, all the peacocks are males, the peahen, the female. So the boys have bright, more vibrant colors.
Notice the tail. We already told you the Latin name means tail whip. But the tail's very spiky. These lizards aren't very large, so they are susceptible to being eaten by predators. Now what they'll do is they will burrow, and they will put this tail at the entrance of the burrow, turn around, so that if something tries to get them, they're just going to jab themselves on these spikes, and they are very sharp. They're like little needles.
That one's younger. If you see Pancake's tail, not as sharp. She is older. All right, now let me show you what they can do. Pancake, get that tail going, girl. Look at that thing. They use that tail as a weapon. All right, they will whip, and then they will whip. And they'll come out of that rock, and they will nay-nay, and they will mess you up. All right, they started that trend. Now, Pancake, she's actually a rescue animal, so she was given to me. This one I purchased, raised. That one's still raising. This is fully grown. So she was kept with a male a little too long. A lot of people ask, does my lizard need a friend? Not necessarily. Females will hang out and get along. Males will fight each other, and the males will harass females to no end. So when I got her, she had a scar on the back of her neck because they bite there. She's missing a few toes. If the females are not receptive, the males, they'll bite their toes. Sometimes they will take them off, all right? So she was in a bit of rough shape. Now she's doing incredible. Now, listen, I don't know if you know this.
I know everything.
When I first got her and I saw her, I was like, man, she looks rough. And then we made eye contact, and it was like love at first sight. I was like, I saw a lizard, now I understand. I saw a lizard, and the lizard saw the man. That's how that went. What's your question?
So we have a couple questions coming in. Haley wants to know, how long can Pancake stay underwater?
So Pancake is not going to go underwater.
They don't have water.
She's not going to go in the water. It's a desert-like condition where she would live. She's going to get all her water from the plants that she eats, flowers from the cacti. She'll climb up into a thorny shrub bush, eat the leaves. They also eat seeds, so they do not go underwater at all. I've put her in water to soak her, and she looks at me like, get me out of this now.
Ashton, who's turning 9, says, do they drop their tail?
No, this species is not known to drop their tail. We do have, a lizard later that does drop its tail. We'll talk more about that. But these do not, because they use the tail to defend themselves. If they dropped it, they would literally have no protection at all. And what's cool about them, Dave said they go in burrows, they leave the tail out. But when they shove into that burrow, I don't know if you can hear this, but try and listen. They use those rough scales and they inflate. Those scales grab the rocks and they can't get pulled out by a predator.
All right, this is the grossest thing about Uromastyx. Do you know what their first meal is?
I do know.
They eat mom's poop. That is their first meal.
Just Pancake did not, though, because she's adorable.
All right, another question. Go ahead.
From our YouTube stream, somebody wants to know, how old is Pancake and how long will she live for?
All right, so Pancake is, let me do some quick math here. I want to say she's around 12 years old, and they typically live 20 to 25, but there have been instances where a Uromastyx has lived over 30 years. So, I mean, she still has quite a bit of life to go.
All right, any other questions about the Uromastyx?
Let's go get your questions. I know that you've been sitting home and your brain no longer works. Look at that. Let's just look at the two differences. Oh my goodness.
Let's see, I gotta see this.
Is anyone overwhelmed? I did say we're going to do a pancake selfie. We're going to do that now. Could you
Yeah.
take care of this little chub?
What's his name?
That one doesn't have a name.
I call it Magma.
Okay, it's Magma. So let me know. Look, Pancake's coming in for your pancake selfies. How close can I get?
You want to turn Pancake a little more
This way?
forward?
Or this way?
No, the other way.
Other way.
Here,
Okay.
let
We
me
want the face
do
of
it.
Pancake.
Right there, right
Ah,
there,
right there,
Don't
perfect.
get
If you want
close.
to take a pancake selfie,
That's
do
good
it.
Sticking
for
his tongue out.
Facebook.
He's sticking his tongue out.
And then I'll go to YouTube really quick
Yep.
in just a second. So listen, if you take a pancake selfie,
Leo,
I want
Mr.
you to
R.
post that pancake selfie in the comments. Now I'm going to move back to the
Yep,
YouTube for
right
just
there.
a second. What's up, Pancake's on YouTube. Pancake's also on TikTok, everybody. Yeah, she's super TikTok famous.
We
My
have
super
somebody
famous-
asking, are they hardy as juveniles or are they hard to keep alive for the Uromastyx?
That depends on the owner.
That's right. If you get a captive bred one, they typically are pretty hardy. They need to be kept really hot, like 120-degree basking temp. So they need it very, very hot. They need UV lighting. But a lot of times, unfortunately, like the species that I just showed you over there, the red Niger, they come in as wild caught. Those are harder sometimes to keep alive if it's wild caught because of the stress of the transition to captivity. So it's best to always get a captive bred, and then they're excellent captives.
I like to answer that question by saying, as long as you know what you're doing, any animal can make a good pet. Now that doesn't mean that some reptiles or whatever animal you're thinking about getting isn't more difficult to care for or higher maintenance, as we would say. But if you're willing to put in the time to care for whatever animal it is that you get, it's going to be fine.
Our TikTok is nature in your face, just like our YouTube
That's
channel.
right,
I'm
yeah.
seeing that come up a couple
Not
times.
that we have a huge presence on TikTok, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I say we bust out some more lizards. Thank you, Pancake.
All right, see you later, Pancake. I'm out of here.
Grab that skin, will you?
All right, if you guys have any other questions, continue to let them flow. We'll try and ask them.
Everyone's just saying how cute Pancake is.
Pancake is adorable. All right, yeah. I guess you don't have any questions because we've told you everything you need to know about life.
True.
Okay.
Ooh, we
Okay,
just
I'm
got a
gonna bring
TikTok
out
follower.
a lizard equally as cute as Pancake. Now, this is crazy. This lizard 2 weeks ago laid 40 eggs. I didn't know she was grabbed with eggs. I took a picture. I texted it to Jeremy. He's like, what? Now, another crazy thing is
Just like that.
no male. Okay, just like a chicken can produce unfertile eggs. Is that a word?
Not yet.
Unfertile. I don't know.
Not everyone knows
Non-fertile.
that.
Whatever.
Not everyone knows that chickens will produce eggs even if you don't have a hen. So
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I mean a rooster.
This
That's also
lizard,
a hen.
okay, we're gonna bring two of them out. I'm gonna give you the big guy. I'm gonna take the little guy that just laid eggs. We have a male and a female. I am going to bring out the female. This is beautiful Topaz, the misleading name of green iguana, because it's not green, it's blue. This lizard is lacking all of the yellow color pigment. When you mix yellow and green, you
Yellow
get
and blue?
Yellow and blue, I'm sorry, yellow and blue. I did that before too. Yellow and blue,
Yeah.
you get green. This guy's lacking all of that yellow, and it hatched bright blue. Now it looks, you can
That
see.
video is on YouTube of Dave saying it wrong. So
Yes.
if you want to check out our
Yep.
iguana video
I like
and
to-
read
Nature
that.
in your
I like
face.
to sound dumb twice. But anyway, he's got this kind of hanging skin. That is because she laid those eggs. She's eating like a champ, but she does look a little underweight for that reason. I'm gonna let Jeremy grab Dino. Dino is a, I'll say, true green iguana because it is not lacking any color pigment, and it is the color that it would be or you would find in the wild or in the case of captivity. Most
How did you find the blue iguana? How'd you find Topaz?
I didn't find Topaz, okay? First of all,
They're
this,
red. They're
yeah,
red that way.
and let me just say this. This is the reptile that started it all in the pet trade. This was the first large exotic pet that kind of was commercially available in the United States. So in the 40s you had the slinky, in the 50s you had the hula hoop, 60s and 70s you got the iguana.
It was the pet rock. You left that out. I don't know
Left
why you
that
leave
out.
out the pet rock.
'Cause
I
it
don't
was
know anything
lame,
about
that's
that.
Alright, so green iguanas,
the only
they're
pet
from
you could
South
throw.
America,
Same thing.
Central America, Mexico, which is obviously North America, and they are invasive in many of the Caribbean islands as
What does
well.
that mean, invasive?
Invasive means they are there and they're not supposed to be. They are wreaking havoc in the Everglades, in Hawaii, even in Texas. So they can, they're highly adaptable. You let them go somewhere where it doesn't get cold, like South Florida, Southern Texas, they're gonna thrive.
That's right. Yeah, and there are people who go out every single day and collect hundreds of green iguanas, and they are not putting a dent in the population, unfortunately. I think for a while we just left them alone because they're like, they eat plants, what are they going to do? But now they have bred so abundantly that they are just consuming plants. They're hurting the butterfly population actually by what they eat.
A couple questions coming in. Christian, who's 7, says, do they whip you with their tail when they are mad?
Everybody's all about the violence.
Yes. Now, not only do they whip you with the tail, they have a saw blade like edge on the top of the tail.
Yeah.
And that is mainly because animals like birds of prey will come down from the top. You get ripped open. If you ran your hand up on the tail, it would cut you open, no different than running your hand across the saw on Dad's toolbox, okay?
Even the side of the tail
Mm-hmm.
is like a cheese grater.
It is.
That's one
It
of the
is.
most difficult things about handling an iguana that does not want to be held. besides the razor sharp claws, is that tail. It'll shred you, like Dave was saying.
Getting back to the invasive species, they are known to eat 100 different types of plants in their native South America, Central America. So they're going to do that wherever you let them go, and they are destroying flowers, trees, plants. Now, fortunately, this year and maybe 10 years ago, there was an unusual freeze in the Everglades, or in South Florida, if you want to keep it general. And these things were dropping down from the trees like lizard icicles. And that really did and helps control the population of the invasive species, but all it takes is one male and one female. I already told you they can lay more than 40 eggs. This one was smaller. It's kind of an immature iguana, not even very old, produced 40 eggs. A really big female, 60 more eggs. So, terrible. Don't let your pets go.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not all necessarily released pets. Don't let the media fool you. I mean, Miami is a huge import-export. Animals were released during hurricanes. Same thing with the Burmese python. There was a second question, Meg. Did you?
Yep.
What is
Maggie, who is 10, says, "Why are their nails so long?"
that? Why are the nails?
They're grappling hooks.
They are arboreal lizards, so they climb. Excellent. Specifically these. Not all iguanas climb trees. Some do stay terrestrial on the ground, but these guys are tree lovers. So those claws allow them to grab onto stuff. I mean, scale a tree, no problem. And they'll get 40 to 60 feet up into a tree and sit there and bask. So that's why they have long claws.
And the only reason they'll really come down from the trees, the females have to lay their eggs in the ground. They bury them in the dirt. And they will often go to the ground to feed on fruits that fall from the trees. It's just easier to come down and grab all those fruits that are kind of collected on the ground rather than trying to crawl around tree branches and pick them off on the tree.
Now you guys might notice the huge dorsal spikes here.
I
All
should
right,
have
the
been a little
spines.
closer, so I got this guy.
So these do a few things right here. They do intimidate other animals. All right. So obviously it looks like he has a sweet mohawk, looking all tough and cool. They do prevent animals from grabbing onto them very easily. And when they are basking, they cool the body down. There is blood flow into here, and they release heat throughout the spine right here. So it helps them to thermoregulate.
They also have the what is called an eye spot, this large scale here. This is that external ear opening. This, scientists aren't real sure why they have this eye spot. Now, with other animals, it will confuse predators into thinking that's their real eye. And when they go to scratch or bite, they might, try to grab that hard scale, and that gives them a chance to get away with their eyesight as well as their life. Let's see, what else can we? Oh, the dewlap. That's
How do you
what I wanted to
forget
say.
the
How do I
giant
forget the
skin
dewlap?
flap hanging off the neck?
Very territorial lizards. They don't like to congregate in groups, so they will pick a tree branch. That's their apartment. No one's coming in. If they do, they puff up this dewlap. They'll bob the head up and down. That says, "Hey, other iguana, get your big green lizard butt out of my tree, or there's gonna be some trouble here." The other iguana says, "I'm so sorry, I didn't see you. How about I go to that tree over there where there's no other iguanas? Bye bye, see you later." And I say thank you, and they all live happily ever after that.
They also attract the females with that. So guys, if you're getting a little extra skin into there, good to go. I mean, just use that thing. Let it shake.
Right?
Let it hang.
Who
all
says
right?
a double chin?
The
is
ladies
bad,
are
right?
all over. It makes his head look large, impressive.
Large
right?
and in charge.
It's how they communicate. So yeah, they're not waving like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Like Dave said. They're like, "I'll rip your face off if you come over here."
All right, last thing I want to say about these. Warning, if you have one in captivity, do not feed it spinach, do not feed it kale. Those two leafy greens in particular, they will, what happens is the spinach, it binds the calcium, won't be absorbed into their body, and it's just not a good thing to feed. But
In large amounts. In large amounts. Yeah.
all right,
Christian, who's 7, is asking how many colors of iguanas are there.
How many colors of
we've got
iguanas are
green,
there?
red, yellow, blue, albinos, which are white.
Mhm.
That's 5 right off the bat, and they do not change colors. They will change from dark to light, but they, like a chameleon, will go from red, or panther chameleon, they'll go from red to blue to yellow. They're just beautiful. Same with the veiled chameleons, greens, yellows.
And that's specifically to the green iguana. There are other genuses of iguanas. So this is iguana.
Yeah,
iguana.
we're speaking about the green
And
iguana.
then there's other types of iguanas that they can be yellow and black. They can be white and black. A lot of them are just like a drab gray color. So there are other color variants that are natural that aren't green iguanas.
Yeah, so they'll darken to absorb heat, they'll lighten to reflect the heat. That's a way of regulating their temperature in the wild. But as Jeremy said, there's 35 different species of iguanas. If you go to the Galapagos, you got the land iguana, the marine iguana. We have spiny-tailed iguanas, rock iguanas,
Rhino iguanas,
rhino iguanas. It goes
yeah.
on and on.
Can their tails fall off?
Yes.
They can, yeah, they can drop their tails, they can break their tails off. Now, the tail is designed to come off, there will be some blood, but it's not really going to affect the animal. Now, a lot of people ask, once the tail falls off, does it regrow? It'll regenerate to an extent, depending on the age. If a baby, a hatchling loses its tail, it'll be able to regrow it back, but it's never gonna look the same. Like, you'll be able to tell that something happened to the tail.
Do iguanas go in water?
Oh yes,
Yes.
excellent swimmers. They like to bask over water, so if a predator came after them, they would drop into the water. Just like alligator, crocodile, like the water monitor, they use that tail, boom, right through there. They can travel to island, so yes. they
And
do
Alex
feel
is
comfortable in water.
asking, do they have sharp teeth?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't-
Now, they don't need the powerful jaw like a monitor because they do not eat meat. However, they do have teeth meant for gripping, so they are sharp. And I'm speaking from
Very
personal
sure.
experience. The worst bite I've experienced, and I've been handling reptiles for over 30 years, was from an iguana. And I needed stitches. I lost the ability to bend my finger all the way because it tore right through the tendon. So I don't mean to get graphic, but I can tell you right now, it is not fun getting bit by an iguana. Even though they don't have a super powerful jaw, you're getting some stitches.
Yeah,
You got
that's sharp teeth. It doesn't matter. If you haven't seen our YouTube video on the green iguana, I actually have the jaw and teeth of a green iguana. So if you want to check that out, you can see the actual dentition of the green iguana. When you see, they're like spade shovels jammed in the jaw. Like it'll mess you up. Any other questions before we have? I think one.
Quiz time. It's
We have
quiz
one more
time.
animal.
Quiz? No. We have 4 more animals.
4?
Yeah.
2 I know
We
of.
got the red guy.
Well,
Yeah,
do they
that's
chew when they eat or just swallow stuff whole like the
Yeah, they
monitors?
do. No reptile chews their food. So the green iguana would grab vegetation, tear it off, and then they would just swallow chunks.
Yeah, now
down
some
whole.
appear to chew, the chameleons as well as the bearded dragon, which is a very common pet. They will crush the exoskeleton of the animal before, insect before swallowing it. It appears that they're chewing,
But
but
they're really trying to work it down.
Yeah.
So, Jennifer Talby wants to know, do they have
Who's
thumbs?
Jennifer Tall?
They have what?
Do they have thumbs?
Do they have thumbs?
No.
Not thumbs like we have, not opposable thumbs. I mean, they just have fingers.
I would
I
say
guess if you want to
5
call that a thumb,
Look at that, bring this
Sure, but
close,
it's-
look at
it's-
this thing.
it's not usable
Look
like
at that.
we can.
We getting that right here? Look at this.
That's a
Thing is a toe. There you go, there's that
That's
graphic.
one of those embarrassing toes where you have one of those and you don't wear flip flops in the summer because you're like, I don't want anyone seeing my giant hammer toe that I could poke you in the eye with. That's what that is.
Do they like strawberries?
They love strawberries. If you show this guy red pepper, strawberry, anything with bright colors, because they also eat flowers, oh man, they go crazy.
Yeah, be careful,
It's like
limit the
showing me
fruit.
pizza. from there.
Maybe 10 to 15% fruit. If you give them any more than that, good luck cleaning their poop because it's pretty messy. It's
Yeah.
quiz time. Are you
Well,
guys
look,
ready?
I do
Go
want to
ahead.
say this. Unfortunately, most animals in general, I'm just going to make a blanket statement, most of them, not all of them, live longer in captivity because they don't have predators, they don't have disease, they have food all the time, they have the perfect temperature. The green iguana is not one of those. They live longer in the wild than they do in captivity typically. So that's kind of unfortunate. That's the only downside to this. Instead of 20, 25 years or more in the wild, their lifespan is usually 10 to maybe 15. That would be a really old one in captivity.
And this is interesting. This is, in my opinion, the reptile in captivity with the most personality. And they do have different personalities. You can have one iguana that's grumpy and crabby, does not like to be held, and you can get another one that'll actually come up and crawl on your shoulder and sit there and enjoy being pet. They also can, without warning, all of a sudden your sweet iguana turns into just a biter and a whipper. They go through hormonal changes throughout their lives, and that can cause them to become extremely aggressive. And literally overnight, I've had this happen where the iguana, I go in to pick it up, all of a sudden it's coming at me with mouth agape. I'm like, what is this? They turn orange, they go through that hormonal change. So you gotta watch your iguana.
You know, I can see those. You're almost describing teenagers in quarantine right now. I mean,
Yes.
literally overnight,
Uh-huh.
they could snap and go to biting and whipping and ornery. So any parents out there, if you're dealing with that,
All right, I'm gonna
Sorry.
put them back and then we're gonna do a quiz here, okay?
okay, I don't know about this quiz, so
I haven't told you about the quiz.
this is live, so this could go amazing.
Or it can go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
All right, now,
Alright, so we've been live
Next.
for 40 minutes, roughly. We said this was gonna be 45 minutes.
49
We know
minutes.
either one of us, that was a complete lie.
total.
We can't do anything within the time frame.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up a reptile. You do not have to be specific. I just want the first person to tell me what kind of reptile this is. Are you ready?
Can I answer?
No, you
Oh,
cannot
I
answer.
can answer.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
Whoa,
Whoa. I don't know. I'll get it a little closer. Anybody see that? Can you see that, Meg? Is that coming in?
Yeah, bring it a little
Some
closer.
answers. Guess.
Come on. Who's got it? Who's gonna get it first?
Let's
There's
see.
no emoji for this thing.
Come on. So I guess
Is
nobody
anyone
knows.
guessing? Or people
Nobody's
just
guessing
guessing?
yet.
So lame. Come on, somebody take a guess.
What is it?
I'm gonna give it away since you guys.
Show
are-
the whole body. real
Someone
quick.
just said lizard.
You are
Well
correct.
done. Well done.
I think if we weren't
Someone's
doing
smart.
a lizard episode.
And we got a snake, a skink.
Okay.
Okay, here you go.
Skink
All
is
great
actually
answers.
a
Skink's
really
great
good
answer.
answer.
Skinks are lizards. Now, this is a legless lizard. It is an eastern legless lizard. It is from the southeastern United States.
Oh, Linda just said legless lizard.
Who-
And
Linda?
another one came in saying legless
Are you
lizard.
guys just saying that?
I
because
think
you
they're
just
saying
said
it 'cause he
so
said it.
there's a delay in your, we'll give you credit.
All right, so what makes this a lizard and not a snake? In other words, what separates this from a typical snake? Well, first of all, externally, they have eyelids. You can't see that. This thing is really small. Maybe if I touch, can you see that? Can you see his eye?
Yeah, a little
If I
bit.
touch it.
Bring
it'll
it
show
down
his
just a
eye.
little bit.
And he also
Down.
has a very tiny external ear opening. Snake lack both external ears and eyelids. Now there are other things that you can't see that separate a lizard from a snake. For example, the lizard does not have a flexible jaw to swallow big prey items. This eastern legless lizard is wild caught. Interesting story. I was actually on vacation and I was by the pool area and I hear some lady screaming. I run over there and she says there's a snake in front of the door. I looked at it, I said that's not a snake. She looked at me like I was crazy. I picked it up, brought him
He
home.
gets
I've
that
had
a
it for
lot,
several
though.
years. I do that a lot. But just like a snake, you'll see his little tongue flick out. Look at that. See that? Almost looks like it's in slow motion. All right, so they're also known as glass lizards. I am really surprised that I haven't lost the tail. They can intentionally release their tails. So someone asked about the iguana's tail, some of the other lizards. These things are infamous for dropping that tail, and what happens is the tail will just spasmodically writhe from, on the ground, and that'll get the predator's attention as the better half of the lizard gets away. They will regenerate the tail. It'll grow back fairly quickly, and the lizard will be no worse for the experience.
So fancy science word for the day, that is called autonomy, when an animal can drop a limb, and that way, not only if an animal attacked it, they could drop it off distracted, but if an animal grabbed that tail, they can release it and then get away, and the animal continue to eat that tail, and they live to play.
Yeah, I know it's hard to
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
This guy's very rigid too. A snake is more almost rubbery, but this guy very
Did you
rigid.
talk about the scales? I wasn't listening.
I did not, but feel free to jump
So
in.
if you found the shed skin of a legless lizard, you could identify it as a legless lizard and not a snake because snakes have multiple rows of scales on their back, but if you flip them over, one large row on the belly, but not the lizards. They have multiple rows of scales all the way around, so if you found the shed skin and you found belly scales that has rows, it is a lizard
Yeah.
and not a snake. So that's another reason,
Talk about the
another
difference.
difference.
All right, so I just thought this was interesting. I know it's small, and these little iPhones, it's difficult to see these animals, but hopefully that information, maybe you guys can look it up on your own if you want. I'm going to put them away.
So we had a question on there that was shown to me about what is a proper tank cage size. I'm not sure what animal that was about. Is that for the iguana?
For the iguanas, I
For the
believe it
iguana.
was.
So,
Walk-in closet, maybe?
so yeah, I don't like aquariums. Snakes,
Don't use
maybe. The problem with the aquarium is it's heavy. All right, it's see-through on all sides, so it kind of takes away from the privacy of the animal. And an iguana, like I said, they're arboreal, so maybe a hatching iguana, you could get like a 55-gallon aquarium for the first year or two, but after that, those lizards, they don't fit in any aquarium. They need, like Dave said, almost like a closet a really large cage for them to move around, to be able to climb, to thermo-regulate. That's another problem with the aquarium, is if it's too small, it can get hot all throughout and not have a hot area, cool area.
I drove to the forest preserve and literally brought home a log that was 5 feet, and I put it on an angle. It's kind of arced like
Unless
this.
that's illegal, then he did not do that.
So I basically picked up a dead tree, brought it home, and put it in this giant enclosure. He basks on it all the time.
All right, so you said we have 4.
Now we have 3 left.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Do I have to tell them?
No, because remember, we did, what? Yeah, that's one. No, they're not here, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
My
I'm sorry,
bad.
you're misled.
My bad. They were
Yeah.
supposed to be
We have
here.
one-
Of the guys who
I was like, you got a surprise? That's awesome.
Okay,
So
how about we do this, just so we can see.
We have a question.
Go ahead.
Lisa wants to know how big do the legless lizards get?
One certain species, that one will get 42 inches. Now,
The European is the biggest.
right, but the interesting thing about that is it's all tail. From the vent to the head, that's considered the body, only 11 inches.
European.
Yeah, right, 11 inches, and then you got 32 inches or 31 inches of tail.
Yeah, so the European, or the Sheltopusik as it's known, they are the biggest species of legless lizard. And I think,
We
I
won't
want to
say
say
what
it's
happened
like
to that one.
3 to 4 feet. I mean, it's a big legless lizard. So if you Google Sheltopusik, so figure that out.
Yeah,
or the
I know
European
it's
legless
how that-
lizard. So the last
Someone's coming out.
the last animal is coming out. This one might be a little squirmy, a little wiry.
Why don't
today.
we
So hold on. I'm still speaking. All my Arizona people out there, okay? This lizard we're going to show you is in the same family as the whiptails that you have in Arizona. Now, whiptails they're small. They look like little tiny Komodo dragons or monitors running around. But this lizard is from South America. It's one of the biggest, heaviest bodied lizards in South America. And yeah, if you wanna, you can just take it off if you want to. And we're gonna show you what he's doing before he gets completely out of the box. Oh no! What are you
You
doing?
walk up to him there. Go ahead, get close to that puppy.
This is Rojo. Are you coming out, Rojo? Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. So Rojo is a red tegu. All right, Tegu. A lot of people say tegu, but they're from South America, so that'd be tegu. All right. Now, just like the monitor lizards, they've got the forked tongue. Now, a lot of people confuse these 4 monitors because they look very similar to a monitor, but they're actually not really related to the monitors
not in the
at
New
all.
World.
That's right. So they are more closely related to the caiman lizard, which is also a South American super cool lizard as well. They are omnivores, unlike the monitors who are strict carnivores. These guys, they're like dogs. It's like the dog version of a lizard. So they eat everything. They love fruits. They like vegetables. They will destroy eggs, fish, insects. They have very powerful jaws for crushing snails. Now this is a male, and the easiest way to tell are these jowls. They get these huge, muscular pouches on the side of their head. The females would have a more dainty head. There are several different species of tegu, different colors. I think I'll let Dave talk about that a little bit so I don't hog this.
Yeah, we have a black and white tegu that's much bigger. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be here, but one of the employees, his battery went dead in his car, so we kind of had to wing it, and we brought this guy out instead. But if I were to show you that black and white tegu, the head is 3 times the size of this, mainly because it's much older, although it is a bigger species.
Yeah,
Now,
this guy's gonna get huge.
The power in their jaw rivals that of a small crocodilian.
I should be able to show them. I think I can get him to open his mouth, and if you
Just
can,
punch
if you can see the teeth, it's fairly scary. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you can see the Jacobson's organ on this, the one we talked about how they smell.
Yeah,
They
you'll see the
stick
2
the
holes at the roof.
So
of the
I'm
mouth.
gonna see if I can. There we go. Give him a little tickle, tickle. Look at those teeth. You
Now,
do not want those grabbing onto you. And unlike the iguana, they have a powerful bite. Now keep it open, buddy. Keep it open. Keep it open. There you go. There you go.
Now those teeth are folded into the gums too, so you're really not
two
seeing
holes.
them.
The Jacobson's up there.
Do you see it? It's way up there. It's hard to see, but
Yeah. Don't put your finger in his.
no, back them up a little bit. Kind of tip it forward.
Okay.
See if you can do that. Tip it forward a little bit.
He doesn't want. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Everybody's asking what's the extra skin around his neck, if you want to focus on that
Fat?
just a
Right
little
here?
bit.
We're
Yep.
talking about the fat story.
Yeah, the jowls. Yeah, fat storage, muscles. Get a little squirmy there.
Now they do
kind of like the
ruminate.
dewlap on an iguana also makes them look bigger. and impressive.
And they do brumate, so during the colder months, they can absorb nutrients from those fat stores.
You can't
Not
just
only
say
there,
brumates. You need to tell them what brumation is.
Brumation is basically, it's not true hibernation,
It's the
but during,
reptile form of hibernation.
right. But these guys don't truly hibernate. It doesn't get cold enough in the areas where this particular one is from, but they still need to go underground during
And shut down a little
shut
bit.
down during weeks of
Main difference
cold.
between brumation and hibernation. Hibernation, animals put on a lot of fat.
It begins with the
They
beginning.
sleep the whole time. Animals that brumate can be active during cold months on warmer days.
All right, listen, we're gonna wrap it up. We promised we were gonna go 45 minutes. We already lied to you. So we are not sure what our next live stream will be, if we're even going to do one.
We're gonna do one, yeah.
Okay, we'll
we
probably
gotta
do
do
that one.
snakes. You guys wanna see snakes, right?
We'll bring out some snakes maybe next week. But also, you YouTubers, we are making we're in the midst of finishing and editing the March of the Salamanders, which is really cool. We're really excited about our new YouTube episode. We're gonna track salamanders from the time they come out of their burrows in the spring. They travel down to vernal pools, lay their eggs. It's gonna be really cool. So look out for that.
And if you, Facebookers, if you don't know about our Nature in Your Face YouTube channel, that is what it's called. Nature in Your Face, check that out, watch the videos. Some of these animals that you saw today are on there. We just did an iguana episode recently, so you can learn a little bit more about them in that video possibly. If you do have more questions, continue to pour them in. We look at the comments all the time. If you took any pancake selfies or pictures that you want to send us in
Post
the
them on our
comments,
wall.
do
right?
that as two. That is right. Do that as well. I said do that as two. That doesn't make any sense.
It does. I didn't correct you on that.
Yeah.
We're getting asked if we can see their enclosures at some point. Maybe something for future
Someone
to
just
show.
asked that, and we are
Probably the
speaking.
same person, stalker.
Yeah. Is her name Danny? D-A-N-N-I?
No.
Oh.
No, this is
Danny,
another one.
Danny just asked it. She was
Callie Young.
Yeah, we might do an episode on the enclosures. We're working on an episode of feeding, so we're going to do just a variety of animals eating. We're also going to do animal movements. So we're going to get some really cool detailed shots of how animals move and walk. So it'll be cooler than it sounds.
Does the tegu eat other animals?
The tegu has the craziest omnivorous
It will.
diet of all time. I mean, it eats pretty much anything. It'll eat mammals, it'll eat birds, it'll eat eggs, it'll eat fruits, it'll eat berries. And in captivity, obviously, we try to feed them a variety of different foods to imitate their wild diet, so that
Because variety is
you want to
keeps
keep them healthy.
right?
So you want to kind of imitate what happens in the wild.
What's cool is if I prepare a dish for this guy, it's never just one thing. So if I put meat in there with some kind of berry or fruit, he goes over, ignores the meat, and he eats the fruit out really quick, and then he goes for the meat. So he definitely loves stuff other than just meat. But he also gets mice, he gets quail, pheasant, so he gets whole prey items too.
Oh, we forgot to mention the two lizards that we did not bring because our employee didn't make it this morning were two that we were going to tell you make awesome captive pets. That would be the bearded dragon from Australia as well as the leopard gecko. They're not the only two that make great pets, but those two in particular, I would call more of a low maintenance pet.
The
wouldn't you say?
leopard gecko is definitely more low maintenance. That is a crepuscular lizard, so they're only active at dusk and dawn. So as opposed to nocturnal, diurnal, crepuscular is just early morning, early evening. So they don't actually require a lot of UVB. The bearded dragon, I mean, they need heating lamp. They also need UVB, so they can be a little more high
I just
maintenance.
meant
But
temperament.
better than like a chameleon. So yeah, they make really good pets, and they're lap sitters. So if you like to sit, play Xbox, while you're Minecrafting, put
there
that
you
bearded dragon on your shoulder.
Yeah,
do
speaking
your
of
thing.
chameleons,
Live stream that junk. People would totally dig you on Twitch while you're live streaming and digging holes.
be careful not to impulse buy. You tend to go to the pet store and want to buy. Thank you. I got a wet willy. You tend to want to buy the most beautiful exotic animal. Chameleons are very high stressed. The reason we don't use them in shows very often is because they just don't like to be handled. In fact, that's one of the few reptiles I would say makes a better pet than it does a show animal. Because like a fish, you should kind of just view it through the glass, feed it, and then the only
You're not
time...
supposed to hold fish?
No, not at all.
That's what happened to Goldie.
Yeah, so you know what? View it through the glass like a fish, feed it, and then maybe handle it a little bit. Let it sit on your hand. But exotic animals like that, not good pets. Go with the bearded
The
dragon.
tegus, the monitors, definitely more advanced keeping. Just start low, work your way up, get experience, and yeah. I mean,
Are
it is-
iguanas good pets?
They
Not
can be,
for
they're big.
beginners, not for beginners, because they're not like our iguanas. Our iguanas have been held a lot. They're super chill. If you get an iguana and you do not hold it all the time, it will bite you. It will scratch you.
It'll
So
whip you.
yeah, the bearded
The
dragon
trifecta
is
pain.
calmer than a green iguana is. So I mean, but if you've had some reptiles, sure, green iguanas can be awesome. They're very intelligent animals.
All right, is that gonna wrap it up?
I think so. You guys good to go there? Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you left a tip or donation, we thank you. That's incredible. We'll try and thank you personally in a comment or email. And then hopefully we get back to doing shows here. Obviously this month is shot, so we're going to keep making YouTube videos for you guys. And we are going to continue. We're going to hopefully do more live streams. Obviously this gets a little difficult, but we definitely going to do a snake live stream hopefully next week. What? Was there something else? No, we're good? Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. You want to say bye?
I want to say bye. And YouTubers, check out some of our other videos. We have 500,000 views on one of our videos, and then some of the other ones are kind of lagging. So check out our coral snake video. Jeremy and I were in Costa Rica last year. We did a really cool Bushmaster episode.
We have more Costa Rica coming out.
Yep, I was just in South America, so we're going to do a Colombia rainforest episode.
Colombia.
Colombia. Spelled C-O-L-O, not C-O-L-U.
Colo.
They get mad if we do that. All right, guys. Peace out. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you for all the questions you asked. And hopefully you will tune in next week, either probably Tuesday or Thursday, wouldn't you say?
Probably Thursday.
Probably Thursday. We're going to do giant snakes.
That's right. Just, yeah, all kinds of snakes. So see you guys later. Peace. All right, let's put this up.